So we've just seen an influx in leads across everything. Even our Google and Facebook performs better than it did. But we've definitely had some of our biggest deals come through TV for sure. The nuts and bolts of something, but you have to line up with the core values of our team first. And I think by doing more deals, it allows you to have a better team. It allows you to have better crews working on houses. It allows you to streamline. The last 3 months have been our biggest months ever. I mean, we've hit double-digit deals every month, and we don't wholesale. So, I mean, those are all purchases. What does it mean to always be working on becoming the best version of yourself?
All right, everyone, welcome to the REM podcast. Today we have
Matt Vukovich with Matt Buys Indiana Houses.
Awesome. Matt, kind of just give yourself a quick introduction. What do you guys primarily do in the investment world? And just kind of give us a 30,000 foot overview.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks, Noah. Yeah, so we're in north central Indiana. We primarily do flipping. We do some rentals as well. We have a self-storage facility. It's myself and my partner, Rob. So that's primarily what we do. We do direct-to-seller marketing. We buy everything, do wholesaling and flipping. Occasionally grab a rental here and there, but yeah.
And what did your marketing look like before you added TV into the mix?
No, absolutely. So we were primarily doing outbound marketing. So we started in real estate about 8 years ago, and we did a whole bunch of direct mail, bandit signs, some cold calling, texting. I think what probably the majority of people were doing around that time. And what we noticed around shortly during COVID, after COVID, there's just so many more players coming into the market. It just got extremely competitive, even where we're at. And we noticed we had to differentiate ourselves from everybody somehow. And that's when we decided to really focus on building a brand versus just doing a whole bunch of different types of marketing. So we decided, what's the best way to do that? And that would be to get involved on TV and radio.
Awesome. Cool. And how many different lead channels did you try before, jumping on TV?
Well, I'd have to think about that. So, I guess we were mostly direct mail, cold calling, texting, bandit signs. So, that's 4 of them right there. I guess RVMs. So, that would be 5. So, we kind of tapered off all that stuff and quit around after COVID, and then got into Google pay-per-click, Facebook, really started building a brand, and then TV was the next step.
Awesome. What's the biggest change that you've seen since starting TV?
So I would say just a consistent incoming quality leads, probably. It just covers all your marketing channels. So a lot of things can be hard to measure. And that was a big reason we went to just a primary brand phone number. So I know a lot of people have a lot of numbers for a lot of different areas, but we decided to go with just one catchy phone number that we would use on TV and radio. And so we've just seen an influx in leads across everything. Even our Google and Facebook performs better than it did for TV. We've gone out to billboards, and we're just really seeing an influx of leads from everywhere.
Have you seen it be hard to pinpoint exactly where each lead is coming from due to the one phone number, or how have you guys kind of gone about that?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. And it's something that we go back and forth. So 10X TV also has a mastermind that we really enjoy. It's free. It comes with it. And so we get a lot of great value there. And I go back and forth with some of the guys because I used to be that guy that had 40 phone numbers, and you got to track every postcard and every type of postcard and all the different things. And it just got honestly exhausting. And to answer your question though, we can't specifically track it on everything. But what we do is when people call in, we can ask them, how they hear about us. And then we have someone from our team go to every single closing, and they get a review and talk to them in detail about how they heard about us. And, we consistently hear the same thing though. And the answer from our clients is, where haven't we heard about you? And that's what honestly we're really excited about, because people can't even pinpoint themselves. They see us on TV, they hear us while they're driving, they see us on a billboard, on Facebook at home. So they don't even know where they heard about us because it's just everywhere.
That's awesome. So you've seen a more consistency since you started doing the one phone number. Would you say that was correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we still have, through your Google and Facebook, you can still track, exactly what's coming in through those metrics through form fills and your website and stuff like that. But yeah, absolutely. It's just rather than, you hit the right postcard or you hit the right list or all those different things, it's just a consistent, you're always out there. People are always thinking about you and stuff's always coming in. So,
That's awesome. Have you seen a different type of seller, like a different type of approach in your sales calls since starting TV?
yeah. So I would say for the most part, you're dealing with a higher level client. My brother's an investor in our market as well, and he does pretty much everything that I don't. So he still cold calls and texts and does direct mail, and he deals with, yeah, just a different level of client, kind of what we were dealing with before, and he enjoys it. It's a lot more budget houses, I guess I would say, but he still makes a good profit and enjoys doing that. But we really like dealing with the higher client. It's just there's less stress, less headaches with it, and
Awesome. Have you changed your team at all since you started TV? Has your team changed at all?
yeah, no, our team's grown quite a bit, and I think kind of one of those things, just to go back to the higher level client, is you have to be a higher level company, and that's why I think is TV for everybody? I don't know. You have to also rise to the occasion, I would say, because those higher level clients are expecting someone that's going to take care of them, and because of that, we've had to grow our team, and we brought on an operations coordinator, Shay. She's takes advantage of the 10x TV right hand mastermind, which is awesome. We love that, and that's no cost either. And then we also brought on an in-house local client relations manager. So she takes all our phone calls, and those are some things we just had to do, because in the past, just having a call center or a VA, like, that was appropriate. And honestly, there's some people on TV that I've heard in the mastermind that still do those things, and that's fine. It's just for us, we wanted to separate ourselves, and we saw that the need to have someone local answering the phones and really showcase our brand was essential.
Awesome. Do you feel like you get higher quality deals as well, like margins wise from TV, or have you seen that at all?
Yeah, no, we've definitely had some of our biggest deals come through TV for sure. I would say for the most part, it's just consistent. Singles and doubles. Every once in a while, we hit some triples and home runs. But even the deals, we had a 6-figure deal a few months ago, and it was actually through a referral. So it was a guy, actually a real estate agent, that just because of the brand we've built through TV and the credibility, he feels comfortable bringing his clients to us. And I went out and met with the lady, and she's like, "Wait, aren't you the guy on TV? I've been meaning to call you for years, but I'm embarrassed about my house and I don't want to have anybody out." And so even though it wasn't a TV lead per se, being on TV is a big part of why we closed that deal.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you mind sharing what your cost monthly is for your TV?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we started out, and I think it was a little scary for me at first, because my budget when I started in real estate was like $5,000 a month, I think, on marketing. And, obviously that was 2017 and just kind of grew over time. And so when we started on TV, which was probably several years ago, we were around 10,000 a month, I think. And that was probably half of our marketing budget or so. And now at this point, we're up closer to 20,000.
Awesome. Was it more or less than what you thought it was going to be, before kind of talking to us and joining the program?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to think back. It's been so long. I mean, honestly, I would probably say it was probably less than I thought. I mean, you just see people on TV, you think this is going to be some astronomical expense. So I would say, honestly, overall, probably less. I mean, still, a big commitment to take on.
Awesome. Have you seen anything else besides deals? Like, have you gotten any, private money or any other, just benefits to TV that you've seen?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we use primarily hard money. We use Kiavi. We've got a great relationship with them, and they're offering 9% money and a point, and we really haven't been able to find any better than that. I'd love to, if you're watching this, hearing this podcast and you got a referral, I'd love to hear it. But so we haven't even honestly really stepped into the private money world a whole lot just because we haven't needed to. And we do so many deals with them because of all the deals we get from TV that I think they give us great rates and perks and things like that. But I think it's just the overall brand of you as a person and just, every aspect of life. I mean, I was out with my wife and daughters at some festivals this weekend, and people are like, hey, aren't you the guy on TV? And, just start having conversations about different things. And for us, our core value is really being involved in the community. So what I love is what happened yesterday is somebody's like, hey, you're the guy from Matt Buys Indiana Houses on TV. I love what you do with Retta here in town, Reason Enough to Act. It's a nonprofit. And so we got to talk about that and we get to dive into our core values. So I think it just being a conversation starter and sometimes that leads to more deals and conversations about real estate. But plenty of times it's just talking about the community. How can we get involved? And I really enjoy that.
That's awesome. I know a lot of people talk about culture and hiring, and when it comes to hiring for, especially, I mean, real estate investing, but just anything in general, when it comes to that culture, I know you're very big on that. A lot of people kind of miss culture and they wonder why people don't stick around. How valuable do you feel like culture and just having the same values as the owner to, the lowest person in the company? How valuable do you think that is to not only the hiring process, but just, the culture in general?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. I mean, it's absolutely crucial. I mean, it's something I focus on a ton. I mean, just being the CEO of the company, I mean, the culture starts and stops with me, and it's something I notice going into businesses or just even big companies. Just one of those things that I see. So we had our EOS quarterly meeting actually last week, and so we went through some of the core values of our team, and I think it sounds kind of almost cheesy a little bit to be like, we got core values and let's talk about them. And, but just really diving into the importance of like, what does it mean to always be working on becoming the best version of yourself? Like, hey, we can just say that, but like, what does that mean? And how does that play out in our life? So we have goals as a team. One, for example, we do one quarterly nonprofit charity event. So here next month, we're going to be going with a local food pantry, packing boxes, passing out food, shaking hands, praying with them. And, we're pretty excited about that. And our whole team's doing it. They don't have to be there. It's not a paid event, but they're choosing to be a part of it. And throughout the interview and hiring process, we're very upfront about our core values. And, here's what someone on our team does. Here's the core values that they have. And, how does that line up with the core values in your life, and then also coming alongside them. So we do a nonprofit spotlight every month. So we go out in the community, we film with them a video, we boost it on Facebook at absolutely no cost just to help them out. So we go to our team, we say, hey, who's some nonprofits that you're passionate about? Let's go out and meet with them. So we go out, we film with them, and it goes both ways.
That's awesome. I know that, a lot of people look more towards resumes. Do you feel like you almost like lean into the culture more than experience sometimes when it comes to hiring? And do you feel like that pays off for you?
That's a good question because I haven't hired for like a high level position, I guess. Like I know a lot of, people are building out like an integrator or a COO, like really high dollar position where maybe resume and background matters a little bit more. So I don't know on that end. But when it comes to sales or, anything down from that, I would say we do lean into culture more than anything because I think we can teach that where I think people can't unlearn the poor habits they have. And if you have the right culture, we can always, teach you the nuts and bolts of something, but you have to line up with the core values of our team first.
No, that's awesome. Do you feel like, kind of switching back towards, being in public and getting recognized, do you feel like people have started treating you a little differently when it comes to appointments, whether it's, agents, sellers, other investors, or just, people off the street?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think we, without a doubt, have the best brand in our market. I mean, we are a smaller market, but that definitely plays into, I think, who homeowners decide to go with. There's other people in our market that are on TV, multiple people. There's a lot of buyers, a lot of great buyers, a lot of good companies, and we never speak poorly about anyone. If we go on an appointment and there's competition, we say, hey, there's, they're great guys too. Whatever you decide to do is totally fine. And but when they go to make that decision and they're looking into the Better Business Bureau and they're reading about our company and our core values and seeing what we do in the community, and we don't do it for those reasons, but that naturally, I think, leads people to want to go with us.
That's awesome. When it comes to other people in the same market as you on TV, I know a lot of people's kind of rebuttal to wanting to start TV is like, hey, there's already, 2 or 3 guys in my market doing TV. Have you noticed that there's, plenty of deals to go around? If you think about other channels like direct mail or, texting, I mean, there's hundreds of people in each market that are doing it. Have you seen that it is, kind of, enough deals to go around?
Yeah, I would say so. There's someone in our market that's a 10x TV client. So, there's always enough deals for everybody. I mean, we don't approach things with a scarcity mindset. I know that's a common thing that a lot of people do, and I understand, I guess, where that comes from. But just for us, we have an open hand mentality. Stuff's going to come and go, pass through it, and I think people see that. We hear some crazy stories about what people do on appointments, even people who are on TV already, about how aggressive they are with sellers, trying to, force them to sign, or blowing up their phone, or whatever it is. And we're just like, hey, you guys do whatever you want to do. Like, if you want to work with us, awesome. We're here for you. And if not, no problem.
That's awesome. How do you think TV has impacted your margins on deals? I kind of asked it earlier, but a little bit different. A lot of people say that they've seen bigger deals when it comes to TV. Have you guys seen any of that? As far as I know, you said a lot of doubles and singles, and a couple triples and home runs, but like the average size of those deals, have you seen them be a little bit bigger with TV?
Yeah, I would say if you look at everything, it probably is somewhat bigger overall, but for us, it's probably just the amount of deals really is the biggest factor. So, I think by doing more deals, it allows you to have a better team. It allows you to have better crews working on houses. It allows you to streamline all the other aspects of your business, which is then gonna, save you money on all your operations, which, of course, flows back into your profit.
Oh, that's awesome. I know, you're big in the community, big in, donating and that kind of thing. Has being on TV maybe created or, given you any unexpected opportunities or partnerships that you hadn't had before?
It's a good question. There's been a lot of really cool things that have happened for sure. So I would say one, we were filming our radio commercial. It was probably maybe a year and a half after being on TV that we decided to start radio. It was probably about a year ago, and we were in there filming the commercial, and they were familiar with us, just our brand and being on TV and everything. They knew who we were, and so we were filming the commercial, and it was the local children's hospital was there. It was like their big fundraiser day. So it was like a huge thing. McDonald's hospital down in Indianapolis was here. So anyway, so they called Rob and I into the studio because they heard that we had, we both have daughters, and when they were younger had been in the hospital at the Ronald McDonald and house, and just having that experience and being able to really share that on the radio. I think that was pretty cool and definitely unexpected.
That's awesome. When it comes to your experience and what you would tell someone else, I know this market's been a little tricky the last couple months, and almost this entire year has been, pretty up and down, really. So, what would you say to someone that is relying on something like texting or cold calling or any other strategy that might not be working? Or, I know you guys have had some really record months this month when we talked to some other people at masterminds and they're, super slow. What would you tell someone in that position, or maybe someone like your brother who's doing that kind of thing? Like, what would you tell someone like that for what you're seeing?
That's a good question. Well, no, I tell my brother to stay over there. He needs to keep. No, but it's the last 3 months have been our biggest months ever. We've hit double digit deals every month, and we don't wholesale, so those are all purchases. It's a good question. I think it depends on who you want to be. And that's why I say TV isn't for everybody, because if you're trying to cut corners or, be an anonymous buyer or just do things as affordable as, possible, but, then I would say TV probably isn't for you. TV is for the person that wants to really set themselves apart from everybody, that wants to be ahead of the curve, that wants to build their brand, and really wants to take the next step in their business. I think you can only go so far with the texting, the cold calling, and all that stuff. I think if you really want to elevate your business, you got to make that decision to go on TV and radio.
Gotcha. A lot of people think that TV is really only for bigger markets. Do you think, obviously you're in a smaller market, so kind of can figure where this question's going, but do you feel like TV is only for bigger markets, or can it work for investors elsewhere?
No, of course we're in a smaller market and we're having success. I mean, I don't know the numbers, I guess is what I'm looking for, but I would say we're in one of the smallest markets in the US, I think, of people that would even consider TV. So, we're not even in one of the top few cities in size in Indiana, which doesn't have much to begin with other than corn. So, yeah, I mean, you can have success in any market. I mean, I think you could honestly make the reverse argument that you're going to have more success in a small market because you're going to be one of the few people willing to spend the money to do it. And you're also going to have more of that recognition piece. I mean, if I was in Phoenix or LA or something like, I mean, would I get recognized? I don't know, maybe, probably not a whole lot, but we've got 30,000 people in our city, so it's totally, totally different. I mean, I think the level of credibility it gives you, I mean, is way higher actually than a big market.
Yeah, totally fair. I agree with that 100%. What would you tell your past self before you started TV to now? Like, what would you tell yourself back then if you could go back maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years before you clicked the press go button on TV? What would you tell yourself back then?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I feel like it's a loaded question. I mean, I guess there's only one answer, right? Like, just start sooner, but it sounds so cliche. But yeah, I mean, hindsight's always 2020, right? I mean, it's just the quicker you can get to the finish line, the better. And I think the sooner I would have realized that TV and focusing on branding would be a part of that, the better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fair. Well, Matt, I really appreciate you coming on and having a conversation with me. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming on. Good to see you as always. If this resonates with you and you want to become an authority in your market and do something that 99% of other investors aren't doing, please go to 10xtv.co. That's CO, no M, to apply and see if your market's available. Matt, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Great talking to you as always. And any last remarks?
No, thanks for having me, Noah. I'm really grateful to be here. Grateful to, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for these opportunities. Just being alive here, able to experience these things today. I'm just really grateful and blessed. So thank you.
There we go. Amen. Thank you, sir.